Hi, I'm Peter Tragos, host of the Lawyer You Know podcast and YouTube channel. The saying goes, everyone hates lawyers until you need one. Well, I'm here when you need one to answer your questions and give you insight that you didn't know you needed. Along with my partners, Pete Sardis, the professor, who has a finance and business background, and George Tragos, my dad, and the consigliere, a criminal defense giant, we can answer any questions you have.
All right. So we've all seen the articles by now. And we all remember during the trial, Johnny Depp saying he would not go work with Disney again for $300 million in a pack of alpacas. And now reports come out that Disney offered him $301 million for not one, but maybe two Pirates movies or a spin-off show on Disney Plus for Jack Sparrow. Well, it's been debunked apparently, but the debunking is as real as the reports, in my opinion, that a rep from Johnny Depp has come out and said that it's not true. Okay, well, we don't know whether it's true or false, but in my opinion, it doesn't matter so much whether or not it's true. What matters to me is how it could affect this case. So first, could it affect the appeal? And as you know, if you've been listening, the answer is no, because this new evidence is not necessarily something that can be taken into account. But could it affect the damages? Because they gave him $10 million in compensatory damages. Well, if he just signs a $301 million deal, would that mean he doesn't have any damages? Therefore, he doesn't get damages. Was the jury wrong? The jury thought his career had tanked because of this, and he lost $10 million. But maybe that's not true. Maybe he's going to get $300 million. We heard he's made $600 million over his whole career. So $300 million for one or two movies, when I think it was, I don't remember now, $29 million or something that he made for one of the Pirates. Well, this is way more than that. So is this going to eliminate those damages? Is Amber not going to have to pay him anything? I've had these questions come in. Does this mean he doesn't get $10 million from Amber? And the answer is absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because the jury awarded him those damages because they felt like he lost that, period. Doesn't matter what happens next. At that point, when they made that decision, it affected him compensatory damage-wise, $10 million. Now, what is interesting is some of the reports said, even before the trial, amidst all of this Amber Heard nonsense, Johnny Depp and Disney were in talks, and Disney was going to make him a huge offer. So how could that be important? Well, as we've said a couple other times, a lot of this new information that's coming out post-trial won't affect the appeal. It won't affect the jury verdict. But if there is a second trial, it would be interesting because they would be able to bring in the fact, if this was true, that Johnny Depp has now been offered $301 million, number one. Number two, if they were talking about this before the last trial even started, Amber Heard could say, see, he still has his shot at Pirates. I didn't lose that for him. And it could be new evidence at a second trial. And I feel like a couple things have come out that would be headliners potentially for the second trial, for new information to potentially impeach something that Johnny Depp or his team or Disney said in the first trial, or to impeach Amber Heard when we talked about those pictures of her and another woman in the elevator. It's very, very interesting to think about when this new information comes down, especially based on the timing of it. When were these offers made? Because an interesting thought I had too is, I mean, if Johnny Depp's in Pirate 6, I'm going to see it. I don't think I saw the last three in the theaters. I've seen them all now, but I don't think I saw the last three in the theaters. But if he's in it, I'm going to see it. What about you guys? And if he's not in it, are you going to see it? So I didn't think Johnny Depp would ever take the deal from Disney. You know, I thought he put his word down and he wasn't going to, and he could do something else and be just as big. But money is money and money talks, right? $300 million is a lot of money. And if I'm Disney, everybody comes and sees that. Everybody comes and sees that. So This would go to damages if a second trial came around, but it's not going to do anything to this case. It's not going to do anything to the appeal, and it's not going to do anything to the judgment. I've also heard reports that Johnny Depp's team made some kind of offer to Amber's team that he would waive the $8 million if she would sign an NDA, if she would agree to not go around saying any of this stuff anymore. And I kind of believe that. I don't know for a fact that it's true, but I kind of believe it, because if he's got to be getting huge offers for movies at this point. And for my opinion, if he can sign $300 million or anywhere close, it's worth it to get Amber to stop telling these lies in the U.S. We can call them lies because a jury found them to not be true and found them to be defamatory statements. So if he could get her to stop spreading those defamatory statements, to me, it would be worth it to waive that $8 million. He's got his win. He's got his judgment. And if he can sign some big movie deal with somebody else, he's got his money. And it really wouldn't be about the money. And the civil justice system will have done its job. The jury weighed the evidence. They came down with the verdict. Justice won out at the end of the day. And at that point, he got what he wanted, which was the world to know that the truth, the world to know that it wasn't true, that her statements weren't credible. Now, if you disagree with that verdict, that's fine. But as I've always said on this channel, whether I disagree with the verdict or not, what I'm going to say is true at this point is what the jury found, because that's what the evidence pointed to for that jury. And if you're in the UK, you can say the exact opposite, as much as people aren't going to like it. But that's why if I'm Amber's team, I'm sticking to the UK verdict and what the UK judge said, because that is true. That is truth. Nobody can ever tell you that's a defamatory statement, because a judge did, in fact, find that way. So it's very interesting as this new information continues to come out. But as is usual with these videos, most of the time I'm going to spend answering questions. So put your question in the chat. If you have any questions about this Disney offer, if you have any questions about the damages, about the judgment, anything going on in the Johnny Depp case, let me know. I had a bunch of questions on Twitter, again, about those therapist notes, why they're hearsay. So if somebody reminds me in the questions, I will eventually get to it if people listening now want to talk about it. If not, we will talk about your questions. But take a second, like the video. If you're still coming around for this Johnny Depp content, make sure you share the page, subscribe. We are on our way to 150K. And it's going to be fun. Every milestone's fun. We get to celebrate it together. It doesn't really, I don't know how much of a difference it makes, 130K to 150K. It's just fun to hit milestones, do giveaways, and celebrate these things together as a community and as a channel. All right, let's get to it. Azam, I read the first part. But she said it won't affect his damages because it's ordered by the judge, right? It was awarded by the jury, and the judge entered the final judgment. Yes. Even if it's true, I don't think he'd accept it, but who knows? I don't think he would either. But I mean, $300 million, would any of you blame him for taking $300 million? Because I wouldn't. How am I enjoying Michigan so far? I am enjoying it. Sneakers McGee, I haven't seen all your videos, so I may have missed it. Do you feel the juror featured on GMA was a real juror? During that video, we kind of dove into this a little bit deeper and said, these are some reasons I think it is a real juror, but there are some other reasons that just about anybody could have said they were a juror. If I'm GMA, I'm not taking any chances, especially because we just had that spoof TikTok juror right before their juror came out and spoke. So I would lean toward it being a real juror, but no guarantees, obviously. That would be like, this is Mo. That would be like saying the nose doctor's evidence is now relevant. It's after the fact. That's what's important, Mo, is there were some reports, again, who the heck knows if this is true, but some reports that these offers were made prior to the last trial, which would then make it impeachment based on what Johnny said, his agent said, and what the Disney people said. If it's true that they made this $300 million offer prior to the trial, it would come in as impeachment evidence, in my opinion. John O'Rourke, this is a complete hoax regarding the JD nonsense, hearsay, too soon, date-wise, 301 million, too cliche. Your thoughts? I agree. I didn't think it was true from the jump, but I had so many questions that I've always said on this channel. And if you're new to the channel, this is not going to be if you're new to the channel, this is how this channel works. whatever I get the most questions about, whatever content. I mean, I'm not going to do like gossip magazines or something, but whatever, there's some random, stuff that people throw out there. But whatever the most people want to know about, whatever the people ask me questions about, the most questions, and gets the most interest from you, then I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to break it down, but it's always going to be from a legal angle because that's the value I think I can add to these conversations. I don't know whether it's true or not. I'm not a Hollywood expert or anything like that. Like Marks, I think his name was, or some of the people that testified in trial. I'm just going to tell you how it may affect the appeal, how it may affect the new trial, how it would have affected the last trial. That's kind of what I bring to the table. So that's how I answered the question. I got a ton of questions on it. That's why we're talking about it. Beth Vanderhulst, yes, because the only reason he possibly gets this Disney deal is because of the verdict he won. His career did tank because of her, insulting for Disney to do this, but darn, that's a lot of money. I'm with you, Beth, and I think this is the most plausible explanation, even if this offer is true. Kimberly Conroy, during the trial, they said that he could not claim damages after a certain date. A new deal would not have impacted that because it is after that date. Am I wrong? This goes back to Mo's question. If the offer was made prior to the Amber Heard trial, I agree with you. Post-trial earnings, totally different. And they can say it's because of the verdict, and that would just get messy and be an interesting argument in front of a second jury. But if he was given these offers prior to that trial, then maybe it could be different. Melanie Casio, what happens if you sign an NDA and then break it? Most NDAs, every NDA that I've ever written has teeth in it, right? So it tells you what your damages will be. You can put liquidated damages in there, which is a specific amount, but they have to be tied to the action. So Johnny Depp could say, you've got to pay me $20 million because we already have a verdict to say that if you defame me, it costs $10 million and the liquidated damages are going to be double that. So double what you cost me last time are what the damages I'm going to calculate for this time. And you can connect those damages and she can sign that bottom line and the damages will be an automatic judgment of $20 million. So you can do things like that in an NDA, but it depends on the circumstances. Every NDA is kind of different, but this one would probably look something like that. Melanie Schwartz, couldn't the argument be made that the only reason he's being offered a deal is because he cleared his name? He still went through the emotional distress. I agree with you. And that's the argument I would make unless this offer was made prior to the trial. Jennifer McCauley, Disney would have to do a lot of kissing of the backside to get JD to come back, but I think it would absolutely prove a point for him to come back. And I think there are 301 million reasons why he may want to reconsider, especially if you believe he's in financial trouble, which did come out during the trial. I don't think any of us would blame him. Would any person in this chat, I don't care what Disney said or did to you or what your feelings are on Disney, if they offered you $301 million, not to do anything illegal, but just to come play the beloved character of Jack Sparrow, would you take it? I would. I would go play Jack Sparrow right now for $301 million. Give me a break. Tanisha Butler, AH can't be trusted. She broke the last NDA. I will go see Pirate 6 if JD is in it for sure. Enjoy Michigan. I live in Southwest Florida now. Recently moved from Grand Rapids, Lansing, Michigan, where I grew up. I'm in Grand Rapids currently. K. Bragg, if I'm correct, the court decided he couldn't claim any damages after November of 2020, i.e. the UK verdict, so the Disney deal wouldn't impact anything. Only Amber was able to claim future damages. Okay, so there was some discussion about this, right? And I actually don't remember reading it specifically, but my argument of what I've said, and one of the most difficult things in trial for a civil trial lawyer, is to discuss damages very specifically. And I don't feel like Amber Heard's team did a good enough job of boxing in exactly when those damages were allowed to be amounted to. And I did see some of the timelines. I saw some timelines saying nothing before the UK verdict and then nothing after a certain date. I can't remember what that date was, but then I've heard some people explain it flipped. So that's up to the lawyers to explain it to the jury because as we know, the jury could have said $500 million. The jury could have said $5 million. They could have said $10 million. They could have said $1, basing it off of whatever they based it off of. And it's up to the lawyers to appropriately explain that to the jury. So whether or not, and that's a question I would have for the jury is, how did you calculate those damages? What time frame did you take into those damages? And I'd be willing to bet that they didn't take any timeline into account when making that $10 million decision. I could be wrong, though. Brianna, I do doubt Disney offered Johnny 1/3 of what Pirates 5 earned worldwide, but I'll never watch one without him. I have zero interest in Captain Margot Robbie. I will say that while this may be true, and that was 1/3 of what Pirates earned worldwide, who in here thinks that Pirates 6, with the redemption story of Johnny Depp coming back as Jack Sparrow, would do just a smidge better than Pirates 5? That would be my guess. Victoria Free, thank you for the super chat. TG, so if he takes money in the future beyond this verdict, she can claim that he was never out of work. No. That would be a different claim, right? And if she's going to say that his career trajectory went up after that first verdict and see there are no damages, the answer is no. That actually proves the inverse, in my opinion. That proves that I would say, look at what could have been. He could have made all this. We could have made way more than $10 million if she didn't make this, right? And maybe we could get Q-score guy in there to say, oh, well, it actually was going kind of medium. Maybe even Johnny Depp was dipping. And then when this Amber Heard stuff happened, it plummeted. But then after the verdict, it skyrocketed, right? But no matter how you draw it, it dipped during the defamation when she was claiming these things. Carrie Barton, do you think Amber will get an appeal? She will get an appeal. I do not think she will win the appeal. I don't think she will get a new trial. I don't think she'll be successful on that appeal. Denise Clark Custom Art. What about Amber writing a tell-all book since UK says he is an abuser, but US says he's not? Very interesting. I don't know how it's going to play out, and I don't know how she's going to do it, but I wouldn't be surprised one bit if she did. And again, if she does, she should anchor it in the UK trial, the statements made by the UK judge. I would almost quote the UK judge as I explained all this stuff if I was her. But she's treading on thin ice. I would print it and sell it in the UK, and if it makes its way to the US, fine. But I mean, I would do everything I can legally to shield myself from anything happening here. And she would need a defamation expert to help her with that. Beverly LM, if JD settles, would it affect the UK if he chooses to sue again? Enjoy the vacay. Thank you. I don't know how it would affect the UK. Black Belt Barrister and I are going to do a video together, and this will be some of the questions that we can ask. How does this stuff affect the future appeal in the UK? Because right now it seems like he doesn't have an avenue for appeal because the judge said no for his UK appeal, which is very different rules than they are here. Melomia, Peter, since Disney is still showing JD's face at Disney World and selling his merchandise, does JD still get royalties? Thanks. Enjoy your vacation. My guess would be yes. I haven't read all of his contracts, but I would say yes. Some of these he's getting some residuals on. Oscar Lopez, Pirate 6 with JD and AH. Oh, biggest movie ever. She's like the villain in it. Could you imagine that? I mean, they would make so much money that it would almost make all of this worth it for them if they really didn't have any shame and all they cared about was money. Beth Vanderlust, Peter, you're a half hour from me. Welcome to Michigan. Monica, Amber's last resource. Now it's to open an OnlyFans to make a few millions. People were sending me articles about that Catch Me Outside girl making like $60 million or something in a year. It's insane. A's Goal Axoy Axu. Thank you for the super sticker. Magic Co. Live in HTX. Is that Houston? But born and raised in Grand Rapids. Enjoy and be safe. Thank you. I will. Ashley Ducharme. Do you think there's going to be a settlement? I still would lean towards yes. I always lean towards yes to a settlement, even in my own cases. The cases I want to go to trial and I think may go to trial, you always have to lean towards settlement until you actually start giving your opening statements. And then even after that, a lot of times you settle. But just such a high percentage of cases settle that I would usually lean towards settling. Not that I want to settle. I would usually lean toward guessing or betting on that it would settle. But did they offer alpacas? I'm not sure, Boops. I'm really not sure. I haven't heard that. All right, so I have a few more comments about this, Rob. People want to see it. Jenny Fuzz says they want to see a law tournament in golf. Beth says, yes, Peter and Rob, do it. Televised, please. Cassandra Jaskula, maybe another Lawtube charity drive / golf tournament. I'm in. I will sponsor it. I will set it up if people come here to the Tampa Bay. Oh, I'm not in the Tampa Bay right now. People come to Tampa Bay. I will make it happen. As many courses and rounds as they want to play, I'm in. Rach, I'm sorry if asked, but if Amber Heard doesn't get a new trial, what are the chances of the judge changing the verdict? Absolutely zip, zilch, nada, zero. If she doesn't win the appeal, the judge is not going to do anything to affect this verdict. It is a final judgment at this point. The only way it could get changed would be through an appeal. Kelly Wadsworth, Lawtube golf tourney would be epic. John O'Rourke says $100 on Peter. We'd have to handicap it because I want to make it fair and fun. I don't know if there might be a stick in the group, right? Somebody may be a scratch golfer. Who knows? Keep Bees alive. I would hope he would turn down any offer from Disney. They didn't have good faith in him to withhold judgment until after the trial. He will have no doubt have other great offers. My dog. Peter, how's your awesome dad doing? Love his comments. He's with me on the golf trip. So try and think of a video he and I can do a live on one night together from the hotel room, which would be fun. I feel a little like Legal Mindset here doing a live in a hotel room. Rob, it would absolutely get behind a charity golf tournament any day, every time. Let me know what I can do. We got to make it happen. Logistics make my head spin, but we'll make it happen. What if Disney made the deal before the trial, but contingent on Johnny Depp winning the trial? That would be interesting. I don't think that would come in as damage. I don't think that's something that Amber Heard's team would want to bring into evidence. I actually think that's more proof of Johnny Depp saying, look, she created this doubt in their mind. If it wasn't for her, I would have already gotten this deal. But now they want to see if what she said was true. So here I am, having to prove myself. And all the arguments about he dragged me here, he's hurting, he's just doing this trial to hurt me would go out the window. Oh my goodness, Mo just had a golden idea. You know JB would cover a tournament on WFLA. I wonder if JB would play in it. We got to get JB to play in it. That would be hilarious. A YouTube golf tournament. I'm so in for that. My two worlds colliding. Ashley Ducharme. Did we ever get clarification on how much AH has to pay for the appeal? Man, I have heard it all over the place. I have heard a judge has to decide. I have heard 10.35 million. I've heard 8.35 million. I've heard 600,000. I've heard 400,000. I've heard $500. I assume we'll get some reporting on it. I don't know. And again, this is one of the things I struggle with really caring about because I don't really care how much she has to post, right? I think she's going to find a way to post it, or she can probably put up collateral like her house or something like that. But I'm more interested on, does she have any legitimate arguments for appeal? Does she win the appeal? Does she get a new trial? Does anything rise to the level of reversible error? That's the stuff that's more interesting to me than, how is she going to get the money to post the bond? Alicia File. Thank you for the super chat. Brianna says JB is real sincere in his coverage. I agree. Who is JB at WFLA? He is their YouTube. I don't know if he's a host of more things, but I've been on his show, and he's the host of their YouTube show, WFLA 8. Go check him out. It's local news for Tampa Bay. Penny Pumpernickel. Would a new trial be a do-over of the whole thing? Yes. Yes. All right. Any more? Gypsy Moon, does Rakita play golf? You need him for that Lawtube charity event. Anybody that wants to come play golf in our charity event will be welcome, including Nick. If she appeals and loses, does she get her money back? I would think no, but again, I don't know those rules inside and out in Virginia, so I'm not sure, but I think that's the point of posting the bond. So you're not just trying to appeal to delay it or to get out of paying it. Oscar Lopez, somebody needs to make a movie about the bed turd. Please no. Please no. What, if any, can we get more Lawtubers to join you in this charity golf tournament? Go post the golf emoji and go see who golfs. See how many we can get together and we'll make it happen. I mean, maybe Rob can come out a few days early and we could do a 1v1, or maybe he could stay a few days late and we can also do a 1v1, because that actually sounds about as fun as a big tournament. Just mano y mano. We'll like live stream it on YouTube or Instagram or something. That would be really fun. Yeah. Deb Bitbarker, Law and Lumber, did an excellent video on the appeal. Cost $500. If AH wants to suspend payment interest, then she has to post the $10.35 million. I have said every time I've talked about the appeal, go watch Rob's video. He lives in this world. He lives in this jurisdiction, literally. When I say this world, he also does bankruptcy stuff, so he knows how that works. He knows whether or not it could get discharged. I've seen lawyers from all over the place have all these different opinions. I don't know for a fact or for sure, so I will point you to the experts, and we can see what they say. Alicia, will you discuss John Eastman's filing in New Mexico about the unlawful search and seizure of his cell phone? Does this claim have merit? If so, I am not sure about that case. I have not looked into it at all. All right. We are getting close to the end here, just about up at the hour mark, like usual. This has been fun. This has been really fun. We're going to do a couple more lives throughout the week. Pete did a Sonny Balwani closing argument, and kind of that trial has come to a conclusion, but we don't have a jury verdict yet. So he did kind of a recap of the end of the trial. That's going to post tomorrow morning. And then stay tuned for a verdict watch. And once we get a verdict in that case, he'll be going on to talk about it. We'll be talking about a couple other cases that are going on right now, but I will only be doing lives randomly at night this week when I have time. Hoping to bring my dad on one of them, so we can have fun. Let me know what you guys want to hear about, what you guys want to do, but I will keep you posted on the trip. Go on Instagram. Follow us if you don't already, at Tragos Law, so you can vote on my scores, on, I don't know what golf shirt I'm going to wear. We'll have some fun stuff with that. And enjoy ourselves, and a lot of fun stuff to come on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you do and for all the support that you guys do give to the channel. It's so much fun. Means a lot. Appreciate you all. Throw this emoji out as much as you can. And yes, Jennifer Lab Mama, subscribe. 150K by July 4th. I don't know about that, but eventually we'll get to 150K and we'll have some fun with it. So thank you guys so much. Ritana says, Emily Baker could also be at the golf tournament. How do you know she doesn't play? Said it'd be interesting to see her reactions. Maybe she plays, which would be really fun. She's an athlete. I think she said she played like water polo and stuff. Golf might be too slow of a sport for her. Not enough contact for her. But yeah, she's invited as well. All right, everybody. You guys rock. This has been really fun. Law and Lumber, we'll leave with this. You're speaking my language. I'd be thrilled just to play golf together. The possibility of raising money for a charity makes it so freaking cool. Pretty sure this needs to happen. I agree. I'm in. And we will have fun doing it. So thank you, everybody who was able to jump on tonight. Hit the like button on your way out. Tell your friends to subscribe so we can get to 150K. I'm out of here. Enjoy your week, everybody. It's a beautiful Monday today.